Hello and welcome to this special broadcast on One India. In the series of interviews that we are doing on One India as the fallout or the impact, the likely impact of the assassination of Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh, not in Palestine, not in Gaza, but outside of its borders in Iran. Today, we are joined by Professor Hüseyin Bagci. He is the co-founder of Ankara Global Advisory Group. Professor Bagci, thank you so much for speaking to One India, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Professor, the first question that I want to ask you is the very basic question. What could be the possible motives behind the assassination of Ismail Haniyeh in Iran?
Actually, this type of political assassinations conducted by Israeli intelligence service has been not new. The difference is, as you rightly pointed out, it is outside of the Palestine territory. It is in Iran, and it is a very directly targeted attack. And his killing is, of course, a big blow to Hamas in general, because he was one of the prime ministers, negotiator, one of the international personalities of Hamas, who was also very much welcomed in Turkey by the Turkish government so many times. And this is another situation now that Israel probably will conduct further this type of attacks or assassinations for the other political leaders, as far as they have the opportunity. I think when Prime Minister Netanyahu visited America last week, and he came back, and probably he was getting the gift, I would say, the support of American administration go ahead, because he was talking not only to President and Deputy President, Vice President, but also the candidate Donald Trump, and he was receiving a big ovation in the Congress. He was, from his body language point of view, very happy there. And when he returned back, he got directly his cabinet and decided probably to attack also Lebanon and now this political assassination. It is, of course, for Israel, concerning the Israeli population and people, is a very high increasing moral now that their people can do fight, and the government is behind it to punish, if you want, the 7th October attack of Hamas. But there is a problem. Netanyahu is like somebody who has no stock in the hand in a village where there are a lot of dogs. So he's not having any reactions, neither by the Arab League nor by any other people there. And Turkey and Iran are mostly the two countries which make a lot of noise, but no thunder, no rain. Yeah, so a lot of noise, but they cannot so far attack Israel because of this. Condemnation will be the case. Moral condemnation, political condemnation, diplomatic condemnation will be there, but to declare the war to Israel means declaring the war to America, NATO, and the European Union. As the American Defense Minister Austin stated, if Israel is attacked, we will support. This is the signal to those countries who are important in the region, but at the same I'm talking here the Arab countries, Gulf countries in general, and we know that the Gulf countries do not want to get any organized, militarily organized groups, non-state actors in the Middle East, Hamas, Hezbollah, and groups they don't like. So why? Because Middle East, if there is a cooperation between Arab countries and Israel, like the Abraham Accords, then there should be no this type of disturbances in economic, political terms. So I think whatever it is, the assassination of Haniyeh is a big event within the Gaza conflict since October 7th.
October 7th. Indeed, indeed. Professor Bagci, you mentioned that after the return of Benjamin Netanyahu from United States, he possibly carried out that attack, and others also. There was one attack in Beirut also. To implicate Israel as of now for this assassination, what could be the ramifications first? And secondly, how importantly or how convincingly do you believe that a United States, which is going to elections, would any candidate, either Democrat or Republican, would risk his candidature of possibly getting into another war?
First of all, I don't think there will be a war. The second one, two countries in their, not constitution, but in their raison d'etre, are obliged to help to Israel. This is the United States of America, and this is the Germany. So these two countries are the, in quotation, natural protectors of the state of Israel. Okay. And then maybe the other European countries, Great Britain included. But these two countries are crucial ones. And I think the American presidential candidates, they know exactly if they would have any statements against Israel or Israel-related political issues, they don't have any chance to win the elections in America. This is another political reality. So even candidate Kamala Harris, just last week, she started her speech, Hamas is a terror organization. It is exactly what the Israelis wanted to hear. Whereas for other countries like Turkey, for example, Hamas is not a terror organization. So these differences will continue, but maybe in this respect, I may tell you what I talked to Turkish press and newspapers. The Gaza issue is evolving to a non-Arab issue. Since very beginning, since 1948, it was Arab-Israeli conflict. We all know the history, like Anwar Sadat's Israel's policy, land for peace or peace for land policy, and he was assassinated by Muslim brothers, as we know. It is very difficult to get peace in the Middle East. But these two countries, Turkey and Iran, are non-Arab countries. And suddenly, these two countries appear as the national protector of Gaza issue or Hamas supporters. This is a very dangerous, I would say, evolvement because Iran and Turkey, two neighbors, important concerning the Jerusalem and, of course, Palestine issue, always supported. Turkey is the one since 1979 as a Palestinian embassy in Ankara. But the problem is here how Iran and Turkey will react now to Israeli position. I understand that Iran supporting Hamas, Hezbollah, fine. But I do not think that Iran would enter into war with Israel for two reasons. One, in the history, it has never been the case, and Ahmadinejad stated just today that they supported the occupation of Iraq and Afghanistan and supported America. So this type of statement suddenly comes and it creates a new political environment. I do not expect that America and Iran will fight. It is not at the moment possible. Concerning Turkey, the Turkish policy from the very beginning was on the side of Hamas, which created a lot of discussion in the Turkish public, in the mainstream discussion. And the president's statements just a couple of days ago, where I commented also several times to different newspapers, televisions, I think it was meant not attack Israel, but in the long run, how to fight Israel. Turkey and Israel actually had the best relations in the past.
Right.
Until last September, Netanyahu was on the way to come to Turkey to visit before 7th of October. So the Turkish-Israeli relations have been troublesome, but last year and the year before, the Israeli president came to Turkey and everything was just going on with this Abraham Accords. Turkey was turning the policy not to be against Israel, but to cooperate with Israel. Now, the verbal confrontation between the foreign ministries of the of two sides, I find it childish. That one is talking like Saddam Hussein, Portugal, and the other one, Turkish foreign ministry. Never ever Turkish foreign ministry stated like this to compare Netanyahu as Hitler. I mean, this type of verbal accusation mostly for domestic consumption. So I think both sides, Netanyahu and Erdogan, in all those years, they were facing each other, but making, if you want, positive results in the elections.
Absolutely, Professor. A lot changed. You're right. Not just in October, September, October of 2023, but also even during the time of 2015, when there was churn in Turkish politics, when President Erdogan gave more powers to the president and prime ministerial powers were curtailed. That was also a time when all this migrant crisis was going on. Turkey was facing the heat from Syrian border. There was a war also going on, the red zone issue, and then the Israeli support to the other factions. So nonetheless, coming back to Turkey, Professor, and this would be the last question. I don't want to keep you busy on your holiday also. Given Turkey's strong response to the murder of Jamal Khashoggi, the journalist, in 2018, I presume, in the Saudi Arabian embassy in Istanbul, how do you think Turkey might respond to the killing of Ismail Haniyeh in Iran, outside his own country's borders? And what parallels, if you may share with us, can be drawn between these two incidents, Professor?
Interesting comparison, first of all, and good question. One of the issues, it was the Saudi Arabian consulate in Istanbul, where Jamal Khashoggi was killed. It was perfectly organized, like Hollywood film organized. Turkey condemned, like many other countries, of course, this. But at the end of the day, President Erdogan turned his policy from unfriendly relations to now brotherly relations. So this is something which we have sometimes difficulties to analyze and compare, because President Erdogan's policy is very strongly polarizing, but then is like a boomerang coming back, and as if nothing happened before, he continue the relations. It is very pragmatic, I would say, political animal in political terms. I do not expect that for Haniyeh it will be the same, because Haniyeh is not the state representative. I mean, Hamas does not represent a state, first of all. But the Turkish concern, president's concern, is much more ideological in this respect. And this ideological rapprochement, starting with the Arab Spring, continues. And I think he never given up. He has never given up his position concerning the Hamas. But he knows technically and practically that he cannot do anything against Israel in this sense, militarily. I mean, verbal attacks will be there. But if there are some developments in future, a new Gaza, a new, let's say, political environment, probably Turkey will further continue to have good relations with Israel. If President Erdogan is out of office and then replaced by another one, not from his party, but
Mm.
from the opposition, probably the Turkish-Israeli relations will be faster, much better than it would be the case for AKP political leadership.
Right. The AKP, from which President Erdogan comes, the AK party, as they call it.
Yes.
Professor Hüseyin Bagci, thank you so much. This is the time when I say tamam here. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
thank you. Thank you so much for speaking to us. We were speaking to Professor Hüseyin Bagci, and he is the co-founder of Ankara Global Advisory Group. Thank you so much, sir. Have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Don't miss out. Follow One India for real-time updates.